me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
And we actually somehow just picked up a sixth podcast that's going to also air quarterly. This is all the leaders that lead that entire county are going to come on as a panel and just discuss about leading up a whole county organization, Parks and Rec being one of them. All right, this is Craig LeBlanc again, the doorman with the Daily Parks and Rec Show Leadership Series. We had a guest scheduled, but as life intervenes in weather, they had to postpone because of bad weather and lightning storms and bad internet and all that mess. So I gave you all an update this morning on kind of what's going on, but I kind of wanted to recap a little bit for the Daily Parks and Rec Show. We officially started an organization called DPRS Media Co. And so all these shows are kind of a family of shows underneath the parent company, DPRS Media Co., as we build out this media organization for Parks and Recreation. We're a family of 5 shows, and we actually somehow just picked up a sixth podcast that's going to also air quarterly from Henry County, Georgia. And this is all the leaders that lead that entire county are going to come on as a panel and just discuss about leading up a whole county organization, Parks and Rec being one of them. And so thanks to the people that are running that, they've already given it one shot at it. But, as life gets in the way, sometimes we can't always accomplish what we set out to accomplish. But after that phone call, they're excited. I'm excited. Brian and JP are just going to do phenomenal job, of course, with the rest of their staff. So that's cool. Now that I'm thinking about it, if you are a podcast for the Parks and Rec community, please reach out to me. Let's see how we can collaborate. Maybe we can help do a lot of the back end stuff so that you can just focus on making the content and speaking to the community. If you're bringing value to the community, I want to help out. So I think that way we don't have to kind of double work. So maybe we can work out on some programming there. Just brainstorming here. So what are some of the updates? We have new logos coming out for all 5 shows. We have all of our Showtimes pretty much set. Our newest and latest show is going to be the Youth Sports Mastery. We're going back and forth on the logo. A co-host, Aaron Lux. He's going to be helping me bring on some of the best coaches, some of the best athletes that have come from rec sports, and some of the best in rec sports in general, so that we can see how America in Parks and Rec is running rec sports. Why is it important? What are the techniques 101s? What are the strategies? What are the whys? In rec sports, such a big part of Parks and Recreation. So we gave it a weekly show, may do a bi-weekly, but for now, we're just going to start off with Thursdays at 1:30 p.m. Eastern every week, every Thursday. We're going to talk about youth sports and really kind of develop some great content for that time slot. This is our third week, finishing up our third week for facilities maintenance. Had a great couple conversations, have a lot geared up next week for that as we get through our first maybe 20, 30 shows for facilities maintenance. What a home run that's going to be. Really is a very broad topic, lots to cover here. So many professionals, so many great vendors that work with this part of Parks and Recreation. Of course, these are all the people that are selling machines and softwares and everything it takes to maintain these park facilities. And I really wanted to also add my flavor of disruptive technologies. So I'm really seeking out robotics companies and AI companies that are building out these drones and robotic and fully autonomous lawnmowers and things, because I think that's just going to be a huge cost savings. One of the things that comes out of robotics and automation will be we can automate a lot of the processes and maintenance in our parks and facilities. And we've actually got several communities, parks and rec communities, that have already started to use a lot of this stuff, even though it's a very early stage. A lot of it is kind of ready for market now, and they keep just getting better and better and better. It's exponential growth. So, like a lot of these exponential growth curves, you see some new technology and it's like, ah, that's never going to replace whatever. And you check back in 6 months later, you're like, wow, that's significantly better, but still not quite going to replace the human touch. And then you check in 6 months later and you start getting a little nervous. Before you know it, this thing is doing a better job than you. If you haven't experienced this, go take a ride in a Tesla if you want to see how good this automation is getting, these autonomous robots. And that's going to leap into, obviously, it should leap into the lawnmower. I think that's an obvious transition, but who knows? I mean, we already see it actually leaping into the field stripers, the little painting robots that paint all the stripes on the field. Really cool stuff. I actually have one of the best robotics companies in America that's focusing on fully autonomous robots for the grass cutting, and these are quite large machines, 4 foot wide. These aren't some of the smaller machines. But I'm also going to get some of the regular companies that we've seen for a long time, Husqvarna, Toro. Trying to think some of the other ones we're reaching out to that are already doing demos for cities that have already come on our show. So we're going to get them involved as well, so we can kind of showcase a lot of this new technology that's coming into our industry. All that's going to be on our facilities maintenance show, 4 days a week, 10:30 a.m. Don't miss it. Also, if you are a professional in that industry and would have some wisdom to share with us of what you've learned, please don't keep all that wisdom to yourself. Certainly don't take it to the grave after retirement. Let's share it with all the up and coming Parks and Rec maintenance professionals so that they can learn from all the school of hard knocks that you had to learn from. All right, so the leadership series is turning into quite a beast. Y'all may have seen the last few times I have figured out how to showcase the website of the departments that we are interviewing, and I kind of started that with who was it? It was Pikes Peak, Skylar. So Skylar, the manager of Pikes Peak, America's Mountain, probably one of the only mountain managers on earth. Can you imagine managing an entire mountain? That was such a fun episode. But this mountain is gorgeous, so well documented from an imagery standpoint. Lots of great pictures taken, and then there's a huge YouTube channel that covers that region. And Pikes Peak is just one of the handful of things that they cover, and they've got like 7 million followers on their YouTube channel. So congratulations to them. And Skylar's Pike Peak Park, I guess you could call it, is a big chunk of that content that's on there. So you can, if you want to go visit Pikes Peak, man, that just looks like something exciting. And Skylar came from the Parks and Rec industry and is now doing this. It's like his dream job. So just another testimony of all the various places that Parks and Rec opportunities can open up for you. Okay, so I think that's all I have for today. This will wrap up a week of facilities maintenance and a week of leadership series. Tomorrow we have a special guest for our YPN show, which is on Friday, dedicated to young professionals in Parks and Rec. We're also having a lot of great discussions around the young professionals, what their needs are. And just to give a little kind of top down. So Young Professionals Network. This is obviously for college students or recent graduates, whether it be high school or college, that are now within their first 1 to 5 years of working full-time or even part-time in the Parks and Rec industry. So I think a few years ago, one of the, and I apologize for not recalling your name because we had a great conversation, but I'm 300 conversations into this over the last few months. one of the founders of the Reckless podcast. Great podcast. If you haven't checked it out, I've already watched a few episodes. So congratulations, guys. Keep going. They were the founded YPN, Young Professionals Network, and now that kind of sits in one of the things that NRPA continues to help facilitate. And so we kind of witnessed that. Yes, I get the concept. Young professionals need their own space, need their own voices, need their own platform to kind of say, hey, you're not alone, especially after talking to Molly and Gabby, who are kind of heading up that this year. I was like, hey, well, let's give y'all a show each week. Friday seems like a great time. So every Friday, 12 noon Eastern, we have a little panel where we can, and here's kind of the target market. Obviously, if you're in the Young Professionals Network, come on to the show. Tell us about what you're doing in Parks and Rec. That's a good fit. If you are an intern, so let's say you're a college intern, a lot of interns need a lot of college kids need to seek an internship for a semester for college credits. And we know there's tens of thousands of these out there. And many of the park systems have a little internship program. So if you have an internship program, let's get your interns on here to just be that voice for YPN as they're going through it. Shout out to Destiny. She was our first one. And Chad Norton, who reached out to her and organized all that. Also, if you're like a Chad Norton, and you would just like to see the young professionals succeed and be properly welcomed into the Park and Rec community, and you want to help out, reach out to me on LinkedIn and we'll plug you in and you can help alongside of me and Chad. And we've got a few others that are helping as well. Also, if you are proud of your internship program that your Parks and Rec department offers, then please reach out to me. Let's showcase that, because turns out a lot of Parks and Rec agencies do not have any internship program, or just maybe they're just weaker internship. They're just not really well, I don't want to say weaker, but really not developed. But then there are some that have very robust internship programs, which I interviewed one of them. He's coming onto the show. We're going to showcase their internship program that's been vibrant for a long time. They push 6 internships a year through there, 1 each semester, 2 during the summer, 4 during the school year. And oddly enough, the director was very impacted by his internship, and that's why he's really put a lot of effort into his internship program at his agency. So I kind of want to highlight that. And if there's any others out there that are proud of their internship program, please come on to the show on our Friday show and bring an intern or two with you, and let's kind of highlight what you're doing and how it works, how it started, so that we can get strong internship programs in every agency across America. I think that's an obvious thing to do if we can just help create the framework and structure from people that are doing it maybe longer and better than most. So that's our Friday show. Yes, we are still working on the Financial Friday show. Just trying to launch this other one, which is our latest one, coming next Thursday. Shout out to Aaron Locks. He is going to be my co-host, first ever co-host, brave man. So please be patient as we get the first maybe half dozen shows out the gates, even though me and him are pretty well connected in this. But if you are a coach, or if you have just an outstanding coach or connection with a great coach, please help me get in touch with them. We'd love to have them on the Youth Sports Mastery show, which is going to be every Thursday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. That's Youth Sports Mastery. I think that's the name we're sticking with. Youth Sports Mastery show, Thursdays, 1:30 p.m., where we highlight great coaching, youth sports program. So if you have a really strong and developed youth sports program running through your agency, running through your Parks and Rec department, please reach out to us. We'd like to highlight your efforts. Also, if you're a pro athlete that has been, impacted heavily by your local community, parks and recreation, youth sports programs when you were growing up, then we'd love for you to come back on and tell us how much that meant to you and why it was important. We really want to lift up and highlight all the youth sports programs that are running through our Parks and Rec department. So pro athletes, coaches, organizers of youth sports programs within the Parks and Rec community, you got your own show. 52 shows a year, Thursdays, 1:30 p.m. with co-host Aaron Locks. I think we're gonna have a blast doing it. What a great segment. What a great part of Parks and Recreation. So I'm really excited to create this. And obviously this means something a little to me because I played youth sports in the Parks and Rec, and I was the world's worst baseball player and probably the worst basketball player on the team. And so even though I was a D1 athlete and got full scholarship to go to University of Kentucky, go Wildcats, full ride out of state, it was not in basketball or baseball. I couldn't hit a ball to save my life. I think after swinging for a couple of years, I might have hit the ball once or twice. But my coach was so encouraging, and I never saw a man celebrate so much in my life when I actually hit my first baseball after maybe my second season. He was so proud of me, and I'll never forget that moment. So shout out to Chris. I don't even know where you're at, but that really meant a lot to me as a little third grader. And then Mr. Rodney Alexander, he's passed away now. He created this little thing called Sure Shot in Port Allen, Louisiana, for West Baton Rouge Parish Parks and Rec. And I played on that for 3 years, and again, learned how to play team sports, learned how to deal with just being tired. There's so many great life lessons that are given to children that will never play even high school sports, certainly will never play college sports, but will take those lessons in grade school youth athletic programs for life. And so let's not forget that the main reason of youth sports for most of our children and most of us was to just learn those life lessons that many times can only be learned in team sports, in doing something where you're using your athleticism, you're discovering your body, you're discovering to push your body, work as a team, deal with adversity, deal with loss, celebrate the wins. All that stuff is happening on the fields and on the courts during youth sports. So we want to highlight the communities that are doing a good job on that with your show, Youth Sports Mastery, Thursdays, 1:30. So check that out. That's kind of the updates we have today, aside from congratulating the Daily Parks and Rec Show, DPRS Media Co. now team, and welcoming Trixie to the team. She started, today's her first day, so welcome, Trixie. She's very talented videographer, video editor, and we need her help because we're producing so much content. We're falling behind. So appreciate all the sponsorships that was able to bring her on. Actually, if it weren't for the latest sponsorship for the show, we would not have been able to hire her. So shout out to our sponsors. Appreciate all the work that they're doing and all the contribution that they're making. All right, so I'll be signing off today. We'll see y'all tomorrow at 12 noon for the YPN show. Y'all have an awesome week, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Love you guys. Bye. The future of parks and recreation is here, and it starts with you. Welcome back to the Daily Parks and Recreation Show, where we bring you the latest insights, trends, and conversations shaping the world of parks and recreation. Today, we're diving into something that's shaping the future of our industry, Young Professional Networks, or YPN. If you love your job and love the parks and recreation community and are looking to connect with the next generation of leaders, this episode is for you. YPN is where driven, passionate professionals come together to connect, grow, and make a real impact. It's not just about networking, it's about building the future of our communities. Why join YPN? Career growth and mentorship. Learn from the best in the industry. Innovative ideas and collaboration. Be part of the next big movement. Leadership development. Take charge, make decisions, and create change. Whether you're just starting out or looking to take your career to the next level, YPN is your gateway to success. From exclusive networking opportunities to cutting-edge industry insights, this is where you build your legacy. Because the future of parks and recreation starts with you.